In today's video, I want to go behind the scenes and talk a little bit about how I shot my John Wick inspired short film. If you would like to see the short film, it is the video just before this one. It was a simple concept. It does not have any of the crazy or cool fight scenes that we see in the movie. For this short film, I mainly tried to capture the mood or the feel of the John Wick movies. I made this short film a few years ago, and at the time of making the film, there were 3 John Wick movies out. But I mainly took inspiration from parts 1 and parts 2 of the John Wick franchise. Now, when it came to the gear that I used, I did have a few pieces of equipment available to help with the project. To capture the video, I used this Nikon D3300 and this 18 to 55mm kit lens. For the lighting setup, I had these 2 LED lights and these small colored gels that came along with them. I also had this softbox that I used along with this tripod. Because the short film had such a simple concept and 0 dialogue, I decided to forego writing a script and just storyboard the idea instead. I felt like storyboarding would effectively convey the concept of the story I was trying to tell. The entire short film took 1 day to shoot. Everything was a pretty fast setup. I had 1 location, 1 character. I was able to convince my nephew to help me play the role of the main character. But we were pressed for time because my nephew had a lot of work that he needed to get finished for his school, for his university studies. So we discussed some ideas as to how quickly we can have this short film done. Making a film as a solo filmmaker, it is very difficult. Even a short film, even if it's a simple concept, everything is on your shoulders. It is a lot of work. But I have to say that making a short film on my own has definitely taught me a couple things about the filmmaking process, and I want to use this shot to talk a little bit about one of the important things that I've learned while making this short film. I did have one other piece of equipment that I tried to use. It was this small camera rig setup. Now, nothing was wrong with this piece of equipment, but while I was trying to use it, I was not really sure about which posture to take to achieve the shot that I wanted for the opening scene. So I decided to not use it and try to get the shot handheld. But that did not give me any better results, as you all can tell by the final result. This shot could have been done way better than I did it, and what that taught me was that even though I had gear, I still had no idea how to use it. A good example of having equipment does not automatically make you a better filmmaker. What I want to do now is share for a little bit about some of the things that I did to try to achieve the John Wick feel and aesthetic in my short film. Now, one of the things that really stands out in all the John Wick movies are the colors that it has. The reds, yellows, greens, purples, blues. They are all really bright, deeply saturated, neon-like colors. In this short sequence, my character, he proceeds to pick up a watch and put it on his wrist. And to achieve the John Wick look, I used one of the blue gels that I had and placed it on the LED lights. And I just lit up the entire scene with that one blue gel to give that saturated deep blue effect that the John Wick film has. Now, there's something that I noticed while rewatching the first John Wick movie after making this short film, and that is when John Wick wears his watch, he actually wears it on the underside of his wrist and not on the top of his wrist like we normally do. I am not really sure as to the reason why he does this. Maybe I need to rewatch all the John Wick movies over to understand the reason for that. But if there's anyone who knows why he does that, who's listening to me right now, y'all can hit me up in the comments and let me know. And finally, one of the shots that appeared a few times between part 1 and part 2 of the John Wick movies, which is actually one of my favorite shots. That shot of him just emerging from the darkness into the light, half of his face lit and the other half is completely dark in the shadow. And to achieve that look, what I did is I used my softbox and I placed it to the left of my character, and I had him just step out from the darkness into the light to get that similar effect. I had the LED lights in the background, one with a red gel on it and the next one at the bottom with a white gel to give it a little pop. And the wall to the right of my character acted as a form of negative fill to provide that shadowy look on that side of his face. And that is a breakdown of the behind the scenes of how I shot my John Wick inspired short film. I had a lot of fun making this short film, recreating some of the shots and scenes from one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite movies. And I also hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look at my process behind the scenes of how I made this short film. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.